Welcome, everyone, to the Daytona International Speedway, a super speedway. Here we are going to be slinging 24 cars around a 2-mile cookie cutter shaped oval for 8 laps. It's a sunny day with no chance of rain, so we should be able to get the entire race in. As we finish going through the field, let's head on over to our ones to watch. Ryan Blaney is always fast here at Daytona, but has not gotten a victory yet. Can he get it done today? Eric Jones got his first ever career win at Daytona, but not a Daytona 500. And Denny Hamlin has won 3 of these before. Can he get his 4th one? Let's head down to the command and get these engines started. As these cars roll off of pit road, let's get to the starting lineup. In row 1, we got Kyle Larson and Alex Bowman. Row 2 is Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher. In row 3, we'll have Austin Cindric and Ryan Blaney. In row 4, it's Harrison Burton and Chase Briscoe. Row 5 is Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott. Row 6 will be Christopher Bell and Eric Jones. Row 7 is Martin Truex and Bubba Wallace. In row 8, we got Kurt Busch and Ross Chastain. Row 9 will have Joey Logano and Daniel Suarez. In row 10, it's Kevin Harvick and William Byron. In row 11, it's Ty Dillon and Denny Hamlin. And rounding out the field will be Cole Custer and Eric Almirola. Here's the cars coming to the green, and green flag is in the air. These cars are now going around for 8 laps here at Daytona. Kyle Larson jumps down in front of his teammate earlier, but Ryan Blaney pushes Brad Keselowski out to the lead. Brad goes back up in front of Blaney. Now here comes the inside with Chris Buescher and Austin Cindric. That'll bring Chris Buescher to the lead as Chase Briscoe goes 4 wide. Ryan Blaney gets a huge push from Bubba Wallace, sends him to the lead. Now Bubba's going for the lead. Oh, Buescher and Brad, huge run. And there's a big crash. Brad Keselowski gets turned by Blaney and piles up behind him. That's going to bring out the red flag here. Let's get a replay of what happened. Looks like Brad came up in front of Blaney, which then made Blaney check up and just turn Brad and caused a huge pileup, taking out a lot of front runners here. Bubba, Brad, Bowman, Blaney. Let's go on board with Elliott here through the back. As you see, Custer, it looks like, I think it was Kyle Busch went underneath Custer. But a couple guys get to continue from that. Harvick, Bowman, Ty Dillon. And here's all the cars that are out. The cars will now start to roll again. We're going to have some people coming to pit road. All the people who have damage are just in the back, going to get some tires. Now here's the field coming back to the green. Green flag is back in the air. Oh, huge 4 wide moment. Cindric takes the lead, but Kurt Busch is going to juke him out and take the lead. Big push from Truex. Hamlin. Oh, and there's another crash. Austin Cindric, who was just in the lead, or restarted second, Vex and takes out Ross Chastain. William Byron gets damage, and it looks like Ty Dillon may have avoided that with no damage. That's going to take out 2 more cars. No one comes to pit road. They're going to come back to the green. It's a green-white checkered here. 2 laps remaining. Harrison Burton gets shuffled out. They're 4 wide. Chase Briscoe comes out of nowhere and takes the lead, but Chris Buescher is going to take the lead surprisingly. Oh, Hamlin almost wrecks. And here they go. There's a big crash behind them. Alex Bowman is going to steal one here at Daytona. Where did he come from? What a close finish. Now here's a replay of the big wreck. Chris Buescher goes upside down. What a huge pileup here. Denny Hamlin almost got his 4th victory. Chris Buescher almost got his 1st, but unfortunately, through a bad block, Alex Bowman's going to get the win. Here's the field. Bowman wins. Logano and Kurt 2nd and 3rd. Some guys like Bell just survived the day. Now here's Hamlin, Briscoe, Buescher, and Jones, who were just involved in that horrifying crash. But in the field, Almirola and Custis finish in the back, and Elliott rounds out the field. Alex Bowman, winning the race, puts himself at the top of the board with Logano and Kurt behind him. And Denny Hamlin there, 14 points. Eric Jones, 11. Blaney got taken out early, couldn't get that victory. And Chase Elliott with only 1 point. Welcome back, everyone, to the Yahoo Cup Series. Here we are at the Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. Today, we're going to be ripping 24 cars around a 1.3-mile, somewhat oval-shaped track for 10 laps. It's a cloudy day today with rain in the area, but not here at the track, so we should be able to get the entire race in. As we finish going through the field, let's head on over to our ones to watch. Denny Hamlin has won many of these races before. Can he win another one? Daniel Suarez, who is fastest in practice, has to start at the rear for failing inspection. And Joey Logano starts on the pole. Speaking of the pole, let's watch his lap around Darlington. Here, he enters in low, goes up high around the middle of the turn, and then exits low. That's called diming in the corner. It gives you maximum speed. Then on the final turns, he goes in high and then comes out low because of the way the wall is. Now let's head down pit road and listen for the command.
Drivers, start your
Now here come the drivers out of pit road. Let's head to the starting lineup. In row 1, we got Joey Logano and Christopher Bell. Row 2, William Byron and Kyle Busch. Row 3, Austin Cindric and Kyle Larson. Row 4, Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney. Row 5, Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain. Row 6, Eric Jones and Alex Bowman. Row 7 is Martin Truex and Kevin Harvick. Row 8 is Chase Briscoe and Kurt Busch. Row 9, Eric Almirola and Chase Elliott. Row 10, Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher. Row 11, Harrison Burton and Ty Dillon. And rounding out the field will be Cole Custer and Daniel Suarez. Here is your field coming to the green flag. And green flag's in the air. Joey Logano and Christopher Bell lead him to the green. Now as they enter turn 1, Christopher gets really loose. They're 4 wide for a second. Kyle Larson's going to make a move for second on Kyle Busch. They're side by side for the lead. However, Joey Logano will get the big run off the corner. Now Byron pushes Kyle Busch. Kyle makes a move on Logano. Oh! Logano and Byron get in the wall. Kyle Busch will now edge out Logano going down the backstretch. Kyle Busch sends it into the turn. Will clear Joey Logano. Logano gets really loose and then loose again. Will fall back a little bit. Kyle Larson now gets a run. He's up to second. Bubba Wallace and Joey Logano fall back behind Larson. Now they're 3 wide. Now on board with Chastain. Chastain gave Logano a huge push as Larson almost spins out. Now Larson sends it to the corner. They're 4 wide in the turn. And oh, there goes Kyle Larson. Up back in front of the field. Kyle Larson will flip over in front of Blaney and Harvick and will collect Bubba. Massive crash. That will bring the field to a red flag. Joey Logano spun down pit road. Luckily did not hit the pit wall. It looks like there's another crash behind them at the beginning of the turn. As here's the field stop down the backstretch. Let's get a replay of the wreck. So it looks like Chastain gave Larson a push at the wrong place. Larson shoots back up the track, clips Bubba, and then gets pushed over by Blaney and Bell. Now the other wreck here in the back, wow, that was weird. Truex, I think Suarez was 4 wide on the inside, and Truex just washed up the track in front of Elliott and Kurt, and then Briscoe had nowhere to go. Logano will be able to continue the race as he only got spun out. All the drivers are out of the cars and got taken to the infield care center. Now here's the field coming to pit road. Some people pit, some people stay out. Hamlin, Cindric, and Suarez are now your new leaders. Here's the field choosing their lanes. And this will be the field coming back to the green. Hamlin will pick the outside, Cindric on the inside. Green flag's back in the air at Darlington. Hamlin has the lead. Suarez will make it 3 wide and make it work, but now will lose all of his momentum. Bowman pushes Hamlin down the backstretch. Denny Hamlin has a lead with Bowman now on his inside, trying to go for the lead. Chastain and Kyle Busch making moves fast. Chastain's 3 wide on the inside. Here they go into turn 1. Denny Hamlin and Alex Bowman still lead. Suarez in third. Chastain's cracked the top 5 and is going to clear Buescher. He'll be side by side with Suarez coming out of the turn. Bowman will make another move for the lead. Now it looks like Cindric and Burton coming to pit road. Bowman edges out Hamlin through the turn. Chastain's 3 wide for the lead. Here comes Eric Jones as well with new tires. He pitted with Chastain. Eric Jones sends it. Oh, he gives Chastain a nudge. Puts Hamlin in the wall. Chastain's an aggressive driver. He is not going to like that move that Jones did. Byron now is coming through the field. He's side by side for third. Oh, here comes Cindric back out onto the track. Chastain and Jones pulling away from the field. Cindric blocking Kyle Busch. I wonder what that's all about. Now Byron gives Chastain a huge push down the front stretch. Chastain will take the lead, sends it into the turn, and clears Jones. Jones gets loose. Oh, there's a crash. Kyle Busch gets taken out by Austin Cindric. Let's see what caused this. Oh, it looks like Kyle Busch put Cindric in the wall earlier, and Cindric got revenge. I don't know if NASCAR is going to like that one. That was an aggressive move, taking out a guy who could have won the race. Now people coming to pit road who did not pit the first time. Busher wins the race off pit road. Now here's the leaders choosing the lanes. Looks like they all choose the inside to protect getting dive bombed into the turn. Chastain will lead him back to the green. It's a green-white checkered here at Darlington. Chastain clears Jones early, but Jones is going to push him hard down the backstretch. That's going to get Chastain tight. Where did Christopher Bell come from? Bell and Byron just sent it into the turn. White flags in the air. Cole Custer's up there. Oh, Bell sends it. Massive crash behind them. They stay green, though. Chastain has the lead. What's Bell going to do? Bell's going to send it. He's going to wall ride. Chastain slows him down. Who's going to get the win? It's going to be Ross Chastain at the line. What a crazy finish. Bell tried to wall ride. And here's the results of the wreck. Now let's watch. Byron just got loose and spun out, collecting Jones, Custer, and Busher, all people who were coming through the field with a chance to win. Now let's watch the final turn. Bell just full throttles the turn, and Chastain goes up and doors him. It looked like Hamlin was going to have the win, but Chastain got a huge run, and Ross Chastain's going to be able to hold off for the win. Now here's the finishing results. Chastain, Hamlin, Burton, Bowman, Almirola, Keselowski, Suarez, Dillon, Bell, Byron, Jones, and Custer. Busher, Logano, Kyle, Cindric, Bubba, Larson, Blaney, Harvick, Truex, Kurt, Elliott, and Briscoe. Now here's the point standings. Bowman is still at the top of the board. Burton is now second. Chastain third with that win. Burton and Dillon are just up there out of sheer survival. Now some people towards the bottom like Bubba, Kyle Busch, Custer, and Briscoe, Blaney, Larson, and Elliott have had rough starts to the season. Welcome back, everyone, to the Yahoo Cup Series. We're here in Martinsville Speedway in the southern parts of Virginia. Today, we're going to be taking 24 cars around a flat, oval-shaped half-mile course for 10 laps. It's a cloudy day in southern Virginia. However, there will be no rain in the area for the drivers to worry about. As we finish seeing the field, let's head on over to our ones to watch. Chase Elliott is always fast here at Martinsville. Let's see if we can get another victory here. Ryan Blaney leads a lot of laps here, but has yet to get that Martinsville victory. And Christopher Bell starts deep in the field, but was fastest in practice. Now let's head on down to pit road and get the command.
I say let's go. All right, here we go. Drivers, start your engines!
Now as the drivers roll off pit road, let's head to our starting lineup. In row 1, we got Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. In row 2, we have Chase Briscoe and Ryan Blaney. In row 3, Cole Custer and Brad Keselowski. Row 4 is Daniel Suarez and Kevin Harvick. In row 5, Ross Chastain and Harrison Burton. And in row 6, we have Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano. Row 7 is Eric Almirola and Alex Bowman. Row 8 is Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell. In row 9, it's Chris Buescher and Eric Jones. Row 10 is Bubba Wallace and William Byron. Row 11 is Kurt Busch and Martin Truex, and rounding out the field will be Ty Dillon and Austin Cindric. At Martinsville, remember, it's a half a mile each lap. It's a flat oval. We have 24 cars, and we're going to do 10 laps. Kyle Larson starts on the pole, and this is race 3 of season 1. Now here's your field, ready to take the green flag. The green flag's in the air. Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott lead him in the turn 1. Kyle Larson is going to be able to clear Elliott exiting the turn as Elliott falls in line, but Chase Briscoe is going to show the early dominance of the inside lane and be able to take advantage and pass Elliott going into turn 3. Ryan Blaney will also follow Briscoe and be able to get in third. Chase Briscoe now will follow Larson and get right to his back bumper and actually move him, but he gets loose as well, and Blaney takes advantage, going to be able to move into second. Now massive stack behind, Briscoe slowing down the field. Larson, Blaney, and Suarez are 1, 2, 3. Blaney is right behind Larson, though, ready to pounce going into turns 1 and 2. Now Blaney is right there behind Larson. He's going to get a good run off of the corner and be able to take advantage of that and pass Kyle Larson going down the backstretch. Blaney clears Larson going into turn 3. Suarez will follow suit and pounce on Larson to try and get second. Chastain going to follow his teammate. They're 4 wide in the back. That's a mess and a wreck waiting to happen. Suarez still trying to get by Larson. Looks like he'll do it exiting the turn. Now we're on board with Suarez going down the back. Going to do everything he can to try and get to Blaney's back bumper going into the turn. But Blaney seems to have a really fast car here today. Chastain's going to be able to pass Larson. Larson continues to lose spots as Elliott's working his way back to the field. And there's a crash behind them. In the back, there's a crash between Joey Logano and Kyle Busch. Big hits into the outside wall. Wonder what that was all about. That had to have been with this mess, and it looks like Logano moved Bell out of the way in the turn, causing that 4 wide, and Bell pays Logano back by sending him into the turn, and Kyle Busch was just an innocent bystander. Let's see it one more time in slow motion. Logano gets thrown into the turn and just clips Kyle Busch, hard hits into the back ends for both of those vehicles. That'll end both their days, unfortunately. They had fast cars. Now in the backstretch, we see that Joey Logano's gotten into Bell. I wonder what NASCAR will do about that. But as of right now, Kyle Busch and Logano have both been towed into the garage. Now coming off of pit road, Ross Chastain will lead him off, passing both Blaney and Suarez. Now on the leaderboard here, we see Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin gain a bunch of spots, and Stuart Haas shuffling around in the back, all consuming the final spots in the top 10. Bubba Wallace now also cracking the leaderboard. Now here's your field picking their lanes to come back to the green. And here they are coming back to the green flag. The green flag is back in the air here in Martinsville. Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez lead him back into turn 1. Chastain takes the lead over Suarez and be able to clear him off the turn. Blaney going to try and follow Chastain. Now going down the backstretch, here's Blaney going to drive it in deep and be able to clear Suarez coming off the turn. Going to be able to get a good run on Chastain. Suarez now has no one on his inside, going to be able to come down and get the inside lane. Now here's Blaney getting close behind Chastain off of the corner. Can he get to him? He does not. Hamlin now going to get to the inside of Suarez, though, to try and take over third position. Chastain holds the lead with Blaney and Hamlin second and third. Chastain will lead him to lap 9. Next time by was the white flag. We are almost done here at Martinsville as Kyle Larson, our pole sitter, continues to lose many positions. Hamlin has a really fast car. He's been able to work through this field easily, getting right behind Blaney, who is struggling to get by Chastain. And there goes Blaney to the inside of Chastain. Coming to the white flag. Can Blaney pass Chastain? Hamlin drives it in deep and gets it to the back of Chastain, moves him out of the way. Now Hamlin's going to be trying to pass Blaney for the lead. Elliott also gets by. Can Elliott do something here? Going down the backstretch one final time. Blaney, Hamlin, and Elliott. 1, 2, 3. Hamlin drives it in deep, getting to the back of Blaney. He gets spun. Elliott cannot get to the inside of Blaney, and Blaney will be able to hold off the field and win at Martinsville with a crash behind them between Chastain and Hamlin. What a eventful last lap. Hamlin upset at Chastain. I mean, all is fair when you move him out of the way. Blaney, though, was able to dominate and be up front the entire race to be able to win. What a good race for Blaney. The finish results are Blaney, Elliott, Harvick, Briscoe, Custer, Bubba, Suarez, Bowman, Larson, Burton, Kurt, and Chastain. With the other half being Truex, Byron, Hamlin, Almirola, Cindric, Jones, Buescher, Bell, Keselowski, Ty Dillon, Kyle Busch, and Joey Logano rounding out the field. Now the point standings, Alex Bowman and Harrison Burton still 1-2 with Trackhouse following behind them. Hamlin rounds out the top 5. The Stuart Haas having a really good points day, but unfortunately some of the guys still deep in the field, with Kyle Busch rounding out the point standings, having an unfortunate first 3 races in the season. Welcome back, race fans, to the Yahoo Cup Series. Once again, we are here at the Watkins Glen Road Course with a slightly altered format, as we will see soon. Today we will have 29 cars. Yes, 29 cars here. We have 5 new drivers to add to the roster of people competing for the Yahoo Cup Series Championship. It's a sunny day at Watkins Glen right now, so lots of grip and lots of speed for these drivers to tame. As we finish seeing the field, let's head on over to our ones to watch. Chase Elliott starts on the pole here today. He's always fast at road courses. Chris Buescher has shown some speed recently at road courses. Let's see what he can do. And Kyle Busch has struggled early in the season, hoping for a good finish today. Now let's head down to the pit road and get the command to start engines.
Guy Fieri. Drivers, start your engines!
Now as the field comes off of pit road, let's see the pole sitter's lap. Here, Chase Elliott starts his lap, and as we can see, the altered course, he goes straight instead of through a bus stop like we did last race. And he goes through turn 1, which is a sharp, greater than 90-degree turn. Now here, this is where he goes to the S's, turns 2, 3, and 4. This is one of the faster parts of the track and gets super loose. Now he exits the S's and heads through that same set of chicanes that we had at the beginning of the year. As he navigates through these sharp turns, he gets a drive off the corner, and then it's a long straightaway back to the finish line. And as you see, he finishes his lap here. Now let's head to our starting lineup. Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson will start on row 1. Row 2 is William Byron and Chris Buescher. Row 3, we have Austin Cindric and Daniel Suarez. Row 4 is Kyle Busch and Alex Bowman. Row 5 will be Chase Briscoe and Brad Keselowski. Row 6 is Kurt Busch and Ross Chastain. Row 7, we have Todd Gilliland and Joey Logano. Row 8 is Ricky Stenhouse and Denny Hamlin. Row 9 is Bubba Wallace and Kevin Harvick. Row 10, we have Martin Truex and Ryan Blaney. Row 11 is Ty Dillon, Cole Custer. Row 12 is Kaz Grala and Harrison Burton. Row 13 is Eric Jones and Corey LaJoie. Row 14 is Josh Bilicki and Eric Almirola, and rounding out the field in row 15 will be Christopher Bell. Now, Watkins Glen is a road course, 2.5 miles each lap, 7-turn course, 7 laps here today. We have 29 cars with the 5 new drivers, Chase Elliott on pole, and this is race 4 of the inaugural season. Now, here's the field coming to take the green flag. And green flag is in the air at Watkins Glen as Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson will lead him down into turn 1. As Elliott will edge out Larson going into turn. Here we have everyone coming out of the turn. Cindric takes him 3 wide early, and Kevin Harvick spins early. As they go through the S's, they try and get out of 3 wide. As a 3 wide farther back, Chase Elliott takes the early lead, though, over Kyle Larson. As they navigate through the chicane, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and William Byron to top 3. Cindric trying to get 4th from Chris Buescher after he made that bold 3 wide move. Chase Elliott will lead the first lap. Larson is right on his tail, though, going into turn 1. As a 3 wide, 4 wide even going down this long straightaway entering turn 1. What will happen here is Bowman breaks early to get out of the way. Briscoe goes wide and knocks out Kyle and Suarez. But as we go on board with Byron, Larson trying to take the lead from Elliott coming under the S's. Elliott still has the lead a little bit, but Larson's going to drive it in deep into the chicane. He will clear Elliott coming out of the chicane, or coming out of the first turn, as Elliott will try and attempt to crossover, which looks like he does. As Ty Dillon almost spins out, looks like he saves it. Elliott going back for the lead, but Larson will lead that lap. Byron still waiting to find an opening to go for the lead, as Elliott will clear Larson, but it looks like Byron gets to the inside, exiting the turn. It's going through the S's. Now Byron challenges Elliott for the lead, as everyone's single file almost throughout the whole top 10, as Byron will take the lead over Elliott going through the chicane. Byron will end up clearing Elliott. Larson trying to get second back, as there's a crash at the back. Stenhouse gets dumped entering the turn, taking out Joey Logano as they go hard into the wall. Now let's head on over to a replay, see what happened. I think it looks like Stenhouse tried to cut across Chastain's front bumper, and as he does that, Chastain does not lift and just sends Stenhouse, which Logano was just an innocent bystander and all of that, and gets collected in the wreck. Now, as we see, they both are able to drive away. They did not sustain heavy damage in that wreck. Here's the field coming to pit road. A lot of people in the back. Truex will win the race off pit road, though, as Byron and Elliott will lead him back to the green. His green flag is back in the air. Cindric is now in third, as Cindric is going to try and drive it in. Buescher takes him 3 wide. Cindric gets turned. Brad Keselowski and Chastain make bold moves as a lot of people go around. Suarez, who was up front, gets spun out. They are 3 wide going through the S's, but here's Chris Buescher. He was able to get to third, as now he is trying to challenge Elliott for second. Byron still is able to keep the lead and is going to try and pull away from these guys. As Buescher gets to the inside of Elliott, he gets a really good run off of the corner and will go for second. As Larson is falling back to fourth, Buescher edges out Elliott going down the straightaway. As William Byron has the lead, Buescher is going to clear Elliott. Larson is going to get to the inside of Elliott and go for third. Briscoe is starting to come up through the field. Let's go on board with Chris Buescher. They're exiting the S's as he closes in on Byron. As the end of the chicane, Buescher gets a little bit closer on Byron. He's right to his back bumper now, entering the final turns of the chicane. Buescher here exiting the chicane as he's going to be able to get to the inside of Byron. They are side by side coming to take the white flag. As Larson and Elliott side by side, Briscoe's cleared Brad for fifth. As Buescher and Byron are neck and neck going down the straightaway, Briscoe takes him 3 wide for third. He drives it in. He's going to clear him for third. Buescher sends Byron wide. Buescher takes the lead. Briscoe up to second now. Briscoe's going to try and go after Buescher. Can he maybe steal it here? Right on the closing laps. As Briscoe gets sent to the turn, Byron moves him out of the way. As there's contact between them, Buescher's going to be able to pull away. There's a crash in the back. That does not matter with the leaders. As Byron gets back by Briscoe, and Chris Buescher is going to be able to win the race at Watkins Glen. Briscoe holds on to a third as we see single file through the field. Bell, Chastain, and Bowman were all able to keep going and able to finish the race as Eric Almirola will round out the field. What a crazy finish as we see Buescher just take the lead and pull away. Let's see a replay. Byron sends Briscoe into the turn, and Buescher was just able to pull away and win the race. Buescher had a really fast car, started up front, and was able to take advantage of mistakes and win the race. See, Buescher, Byron, Briscoe, Larson, and Chase Elliott is your top 5, with Brad, Cindric, Kyle Busch, Todd Gilliland, and Christopher Bell being the top 10, and And the rest of the field is Gralla, Jones, Kurt, Custer, and Chastain. In the back of the field is Ty Dillon, Alex Bowman, Bubba Wallace, Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex, Denny Hamlin, Josh Bilicki, Harrison Burton, Daniel Suarez, Joey Logano, Corey LaJoie, Ricky Stenhouse, and Eric Almirola will round out the field. Now, with 5 new drivers being added to the field, the point system does not change. First place still gets 30 points, and 25, 23, 21, all the way down. Now, there's just a lot of people who get 1 point. So I think it's 24th on back just gets 1 point. And as we saw at the top, Bowman still has the lead, but Byron is caught up really fast and is challenging Bowman for the points lead. We'll see what happens next week at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Welcome back, race fans, to the Yahoo Cup Series. We are here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway down in the NASCAR state of North Carolina. This is the longest and most grueling race on the NASCAR schedule, being much longer than any other race there is. Once again, we have 29 cars here ready to take on this quad oval shaped track with an odd shape coming to the finish line, giving it its name. This race starts at the day but ends in the cold of night. However, the track will be hot no matter what condition. As we are going through the field, let's head on over to our ones to watch. Christopher Bell starts up front. He'll be fast today. Ryan Blaney coming off a rough race at the road course. Let's see if he can get up front. And Kyle Larson starts at the back, but he has a really fast car today. Now let's head to pit road and get the command.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
As these drivers finish off rolling off a pit road, let's head to the starting lineup. Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch will start on row 1. Following them is Christopher Bell and Kyle Busch in row 2. Row 3 has William Byron and Austin Cindric. And row 4 will be Bubba Wallace and Alex Bowman. Row 5 is Ryan Blaney and Daniel Suarez. Row 6 has Chase Elliott and Martin Truex. Row 7 is Chase Briscoe and Harrison Burton. Row 8 is Kevin Harvick and Chris Buescher. Following them will be Cole Custer and Ross Chastain. Then it's Joey Logano and Eric Almirola. Eric Jones and Ty Dillon, with Ricky Stenhouse and Todd Gilliland following them. Josh Bilicki and Kaz Gralla. Brad Keselowski and Kyle Larson, and rounding out the field will be Corey LaJoie. We're at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's a 1.5 miles each lap. It's a high-banked quad oval. We have 10 laps here today, 29 cars. Denny Hamlin's on the pole. Most of the Toyotas are up front, and it's the halfway point of the season. Now the drivers are ready to come take the green flag here at Charlotte, and green flag is in the air. Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch will lead them to the green flag as everyone else will follow behind them. Up front, though, William Byron making an early 3-wide move for third. He's going to make it work and be even with Bell and Kyle coming off the corner. Kurt Busch gets a good run and will clear Denny Hamlin with help from his brother, Kyle Busch, giving him a shove down the back, as Kyle Busch will end up passing Hamlin for second, as there's 3-wide battles going on throughout the whole field. But it looks like Byron's going to get Hamlin a little loose through the corner. Byron's going to gain some spots and get in front of Hamlin, with his teammate Alex Bowman going to get to his outside. Hamlin is starting to fall back after starting in the lead. They're 4 wide farther back, though, but Kurt Busch will lead lap 1 to go through the field. Kyle Busch is gaining on Kurt as he's going to go and enter the corner on the high side. Going to get a big run off the corner. Looks like Byron's going to get spun. And a big crash. Cindric up in the air getting T-boned by Truex. Massive crash collecting Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, and Chris Buescher. And in the replay, it looks like Hamlin got into Byron going into the corner. Might have been a little revenge after Byron moved Hamlin out of the way in the previous lap. His big hit from Cindric as Buescher had nowhere to go, and Elliott and Harvick have minor damage, but will probably be able to continue after the wreck. As Denny Hamlin will be getting penalized for intentionally wrecking Byron, as Cindric, Truex, and Buescher end up in the garage. As we have many people coming to pit road early here to get some fresh tires and some repairs if they're involved in the wreck, as Christopher Bell will lead the race off pit road. Larson and Stenhouse, a lot of guys gaining positions in the front, but Bowman and Byron lose a bunch of spots off pit road as people like Gilliland and LaJoie gain spots. Now here's your field, the rest of the field picking their lanes as Kurt and Kyle both go to the outside as green flag's back in the air. Chase Briscoe pushes Suarez into the corner, giving Suarez a big shove. Gets Suarez loose, and now they're 3 wide for the lead. Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, and Chase Briscoe are 3 wide for the lead going down the backstretch. Kyle Busch is going to be able to clear for the lead as Blaney's going to give Briscoe a push and take him 3 wide into the corner. Now Blaney and Briscoe go 3 wide with Kyle for the lead, but Kyle is still going to get a big run off the corner and be able to stay in front of them for the lead. As Chase Briscoe is going to go up in front of Suarez, almost wrecking them, but Kyle Busch will continue to lead. Briscoe and Blaney stay even for second. They're 3 wide for fourth as Blaney drives it in. Briscoe gets a little tight, losing ground. Where did Logano come from? Oh, Logano makes contact with Briscoe, almost wrecks going down the back. Kyle Busch still has a big lead. Briscoe's going to be able to get to the inside. They're 3 wide behind them for third as Chastain's coming through the field. Kurt Busch is back up there, going to get a big run. Suarez is falling back. They're 3 wide all over the place as Bell and Bowman are starting to make their way through the field fast after getting fresh tires. As Kurt Busch is going to split them 3 wide, that's a risky move, but Briscoe drives it in. He's going to be able to clear them for the lead. As Chastain makes it 3 wide trying to go for the lead, Kyle Busch and Briscoe bump draft going down the backstretch, getting a ton of speed. As Bowman and Bell continue to gain a lot of spots, they're back in the top 10. Briscoe goes up the track. Kyle Busch does a crossover. He goes to the inside for the lead. Kyle Busch and Chase Briscoe side by side off the corner as Blaney and Chastain have been still side by side. Here comes Bowman and Bell. They're back in the top 5 as Larson's getting help from Byron as well to get up there. Bell and Bowman make it 3 wide. Here comes Christopher Bell and Alex Bowman driving it in way deep. It's still 3 wide now with Briscoe for second. Kyle Busch remains in the lead though, having a really fast car. But here comes Bell and Bowman. With the fresh tires that they got after that first caution, they have flown through the field to get back up front. And they're 3 wide. It looks like Bowman and Bell are going to be able to clear Kyle Busch, leading that lap. Kyle Busch and oh, there's a crash. Kurt Busch, Kyle's brother, Rex, collecting Hamlin and LaJoy. Oh, and there goes Custer, pinning the wall and upside down, flipping once and coming back on all 4s. Massive hit. It looks like he just had nowhere to go. Let's see in the replay. Suarez was pushing Kurt and just bumped him in the wrong way, spinning him back into the field, collecting Hamlin and LaJoy, but they drive off. However, Cole Custer had nowhere to go and got pinned into the wall and launched into the air. As right there, Hamlin and LaJoy get collected, but minor damage between them as Custer just vaults off of Kurt and does one flip and lands back on all 4s. LaJoy and Hamlin will be able to continue in the race, but Custer and Kurt will join Centric, Truex, and Buescher in the garage. It looks like everyone comes to pit road this time to get fresh tires and repairs. As Christopher Bell will once again win the race off pit road, it looks like a lot of guys took 2 tires instead of 4. As the first guy to take 4 is Kyle Busch, who goes from 3rd to 7th, with Christopher Bell jumping up into 1st due to strategy. But people like Briscoe haven't gotten new tires at all. But green-white checker here. We are in overtime after that crash took us to the final laps. As Alex Bowman and Byron work together, and there goes Briscoe right in front of the pack. It's the big one at Charlotte. Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, Chase Briscoe, Ross Chastain, a lot of front runners in this wreck with nowhere to go as people even wrecking, trying to just slow down. The field is stopped as the track is blocked in front of them. Only 4 cars managed to get by, and it is a red flag. Then a replay. It looks like Stenhouse tried to make an aggressive 3-wide move under Briscoe and just took him out, and the field had nowhere to go. Briscoe bounced off the inside wall. Stenhouse collects Bubba trying to avoid. It looks like Blaney goes up in the air with Larson going underneath Stenhouse. Lots of big hits in this wreck. But as they clean up the track, the field goes back to just caution conditions as a couple people come to pit road to get fresh tires one last time for another overtime finish. This will be overtime attempt number 2 as the field comes back to the green. It's Bell and Kyle versus Bowman and Byron. Logano makes it 3 wide. He just got fresh tires. He's going to be coming through the field. But Bell, Kyle, and Bowman are 3 wide going down the back. Kyle Busch is the first guy with 4 tires, so he's going to be much faster than a lot of these guys. And here comes Logano. Logano's already back up to 4th after just pitting. He was back in 8th. But now here they are, Kyle Busch and Bowman side by side for the lead. Logano and Byron now going for it. But Logano's 3 wide for the lead. White flag is in the air. One more time around. Next flag ends the race. Joey Logano's going to have the advantage, being able to drive it in deep. But Kyle Busch stays even with him on his outside. Looks like they're both going to clear Bowman exiting the corner as there's Bell and Byron trying to stay with him. Bowman's going to take him 3 wide under Logano and Kyle. As Bowman gets really loose. Here comes Bell back for it. Byron gets a big run. But coming to the checkered, it looks like it's going to be Kyle Busch holding them off to get the win here. What a wild, wild finish here as the rest of the field comes to the finish. Briscoe managing to finish. What a crazy finish. It looks like Kyle Busch was not able to complete a burnout because after all that contact, he had no tires left. But here's the field and the finishers. Hamlin, a rough day. Briscoe, a rough day. With a couple of backmarkers, though, able to get up front due to all the carnage. Unfortunate for Blaney. He had a fast car and had a rough week last week. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to recover from that. And just a lot of people who wrecked early back here as well. Now, if we look at the point standings, Alex Bowman still leads, but William Byron is now only 1 point behind the Daytona 500 champion. Christopher Bell is the next guy behind them, and he's even really far back. Kyle Busch, after being far back in the points, jumps up, maybe back in contention to run for the championship. But guys like Bubba, Custer, Almirola, Cindric, and especially Truex have had a really rough start to the season. Hopefully they'll be able to recover in the second half of the season. Here we are again with the Yahoo Cup Series. We are back at another 1.5-mile quad oval shaped track. However, we are no longer in Charlotte. We've gone further south and have ended up in Atlanta for the Atlanta Superspeedway. We have 29 cars ready to do 8 laps around the high banks of Atlanta. This racing will be quite similar to the way it was down in the Daytona beaches of Florida. Furthermore, as we complete going through the field, let's get on over to our ones to watch. Chase Elliott starts on the pole. He'll be fast here today. Ryan Blaney is always fast at the Superspeedways, hoping to rebound from some poor finishes. And Christopher Bell starts deeper in the field, but he was fast in practice. Now let's head down to the command.
The night time is the right time. Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines!
As these drivers roll off of pit road, let's head to our starting lineup. Chase Elliott and Ross Chastain will be on row 1. Kyle Larson and Austin Cindric will follow them in row 2. Row 3 will contain Ryan Blaney and Daniel Suarez, and row 4 has Alex Bowman and Martin Truex. Row 5, Kevin Harvick and Chris Buescher, and in row 6 is William Byron and Chase Briscoe. Row 7 will be Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin, and in row 8 will be Joey Logano and Cole Custer. Following in row 9 is Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse, and then in row 10 is Kurt Busch and Eric Almirola. Row 11 is Ty Dillon and Eric Jones, and row 12 is Harrison Burton and Todd Gilliland. Row 13 is Corey LaJoie and Brad Keselowski, and then row 14 is Bubba Wallace and Josh Bilicki. And rounding out the field in row 15 will be Kaz Grala. Here at the Atlanta Superspeedway, it is very similar to the shape of Charlotte, 1.5 miles long and a quad oval. 8 laps with 29 cars. The fan favorite starts on the pole, and we got high speeds here in Georgia. Now here's the field coming to the green. And green flag is in the air. Here we go at Atlanta Superspeedway. Chase Elliott and Ross Chastain will lead him into turn 1. Kyle Larson's going to give his teammate Chase Elliott a huge push going into turn 1, going to give him the edge over Chastain coming out of 2. As Chastain and Suarez will now link up on that outside, get that outside lane moving. Ross Chastain will take the lead as the inside starts to fall back. Chase Elliott moves up to that middle lane to defend and try and keep up with Chastain. But Chastain and Suarez will end up moving to the inside in front of Elliott, with Truex and Briscoe now going to be making that outside for him, as Larson has fallen way back on the inside. Truex is going to move up. Chastain threw a big block, but did not block Truex, as Truex is going to get the lead with Briscoe pushing. Chastain's going to turn Suarez up in front of the field, taking out Briscoe and Stenhouse, having nowhere to go. First caution early here at Atlanta, as it looks like Chastain just got a poor push and ended up turning Suarez right into Briscoe and in front of Stenhouse, having nowhere to go. As we see it one more time. As just unfortunate circumstances, as they were all moving through the field very quickly and maybe had a chance to win, as the drivers are in the infield care center and the cars are taken to the garage, as everyone's going to come to pit road early, and Martin Truex will lead them off of pit road. Blaney going to gain some spots. Chase Elliott falls back to 3rd. Here's the top 10 off of pit road. Truex will maintain the lead. Blaney, Buescher, Almirola, Custer, and Hamlin gaining spots. Cindric stays in 6th, while Elliott, Chastain, and Jones also fall back some spots. It's really good for Blaney and Buescher to get up there. There'll be Fords working together on that outside. As here is the field coming back to the green. And green flag will be back in the air. As Elliott's going to make a move 3 wide early on the restart. As Buescher and Blaney, like I said, is going to work together. As, Buescher makes a move and gets really loose. That could have been big. As Chase Elliott will regain the lead, but Blaney will get a big push from his teammate Cindric down the back. As Eric Jones now leading the outside, getting a huge run off of the corner and through the turn. And it's going to take the lead away and move down to the middle lane. Jones now has the lead as they are 3 wide all over the place from second on back, as Bowman's going to move down in front of his teammate to work with him, as they are side by side for the lead again, as Alex Bowman's going to get a big push from Chase Elliott. It looks like he's going to be able to get the lead. Brad moves to the outside now, and is going to be able to take the lead away. Eric Jones is going to get stuck in the middle, as William Byron now getting on that outside. And it looks like Byron, going out of frame here, though, is going to move down, and yep, he's going to work with his centric teammates. But now Kurt Busch out of nowhere, getting pushes from Logano and Harrison Burton, as, they try to make a move in front of Brad to get a ton of momentum, but Kurt's going to be able to block and keep the lead. As here's your field. Eric Jones has fallen back quite a bit now, as Logano and Burton make a move, as Brad's going to go 3 wide, but Blaney does not follow. He stays in the middle lane. It's going to work with Kurt. Joey Logano now has the lead, though. As here's your field, as Blaney and Cindric bumper to bumper, they're going to go through. They're 4 wide as Harrison Burton gets shuffled out. Now Logano gets shuffled out. The Hendrick car is on the inside trying to go for the lead, as now the Penske guys, they're all together, as Brad Keselowski gets put on the wall, unfortunate for him. As the Penske guys get split up, Cindric makes a move for the lead. Here's all the Toyotas, Kurt and Truex. They're 4 wide again. Logano made it to the outside, but he's going to fall back. Cindric and Blaney bumper to bumper. They're going to tandem down. There's a big crash. William Byron flips over Cindric and Bowman. A lot of front runners are in it. Bell was making his way through the field. Chase Elliott, a pole sitter, is in it. Eric Almirola was up front on that inside most of the race. He's in it. Busher, Gillen, Larson, and Harvick were all in it. Larson unfortunately fell back early. As there's a massive crash, Byron ends up flipping. Hope he's okay. As it looks like Blaney was given an aggressive push to Cindric and was not able to hold it as Cindric spun out in front of the field and Byron got vaulted over Cindric. However, it looks like Larson and Harvick were able to continue, but now there's a close finish between Truex and Blaney when the caution came out, and it looks like Martin Truex is going to be a race winner here at Atlanta. Martin Truex, there's a nice burnout there at the end. Truex had been struggling most of the season and happened to be last in the point standings, actually, going into this race for guys who've been racing the full season. As Truex, Blaney, and Kurt's your podium, Hamlin, Kyle, Custer, Jones, Gralla, Chastain, and Ty Dillon. All up there. Bubba, Logano, Balicki, Keselowski, Burton, LaJoy, Larson, and Harvick rounds out the people who ended up finishing the race, as Cindric, Byron, Bowman, Bell, Almirola, Elliott, Busher, Gillen, Briscoe, Suarez, and Stenhouse all ended up crashing out here. As here's the point standings, Alex Bowman and William Byron end up tied coming out of Atlanta, as Denny Hamlin and Chastain are close to each other. Kyle Busch has moved way up in the point standings. As Brad Keselowski's still there. Christopher Bell has dropped a little bit. Harrison Burton stayed decent. Martin Truex really needed that win. He's moved up a little bit. Bubba Wallace struggled pretty much that whole race, could not get up to the front. And Ricky Stenhouse has had a rough few first races in his career. Welcome back to the Yahoo Cup Series. Today we are at a 1 mile length oval shaped track in New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We have gone from far south to almost as far north as we can be here in the States. 29 cars are lined up to do 9 laps here at this very flat track. This racing will be quite similar to Martinsville, however there will be many more lanes and opportunities to pass from. As we see the rest of the field, let's head on over to our ones to watch. Martin Truex starts on pole here today. He's the defending race winner in the Yahoo Cup Series. Eric Almirola starts up front. He's hoping to turn his season around here today. And Alex Bowman is our points leader, and he starts very deep in the field. Now let's head on to pit road and get the command to start engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
Now here is the field rolling off of pit road. Let's now head to our starting lineup. In row 1, we'll have defending race winner Martin Truex and fan favorite Chase Elliott. Row 2 has Kurt Busch and Bubba Wallace, both drivers looking to have good days today. And Christopher Bell and William Byron in row 3, both drivers high in the point standings. Eric Almirola and Kyle Larson deep in the points. And in row 5, we'll have Brad Keselowski and Kevin Harvick, 2 Fords. And in row 6 will be Penske teammates Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano, both moving up in the points right now. In row 7 will be Denny Hamlin and Chris Buescher. Row 8 will be Kyle Busch and Ross Chastain, both drivers moving up. Row 9 is Daniel Suarez and Corey LaJoie. In row 10, it's Eric Jones and Cole Custer. Eric Jones has been having some good runs lately. And in row 11 is Ricky Stenhouse and Todd Gilliland. Row 12 is Alex Bowman and Austin Cindric. Alex Bowman, points leader, deep in the field here. And in row 13 is Chase Briscoe and Harrison Burton. Row 14 is Kaz Gralla and Josh Bilicki. And rounding out the field in row 15 is Ty Dillon. In New Hampshire Motor Speedway, we are at an oval-shaped track, very similar to Martinsville. It is about 1 mile in length. It's a 9-lap race with 29 cars, and last race's winner, Martin Truex Jr., sits on the pole here. Here's your field coming to take the green flag and get things underway here at New Hampshire. And green flag will be in the air here. Martin Truex and Chase Elliott will lead him into turn 1. As they are side-by-side going through, Christopher Bell makes an early 3-wide move to try and break into third, as Martin Truex is going to get the run off the outside with Bubba Wallace following him, going to challenge Chase Elliott for second. As Truex will lead him into turn 3 all by himself, Chase Elliott's going to drive it in deep and get back side by side. Christopher Bell looking to maybe clear Kurt Busch here, but it's not going to happen. They're still side by side. Bubba Wallace, a huge run. He's going to be able to take second from Elliott momentarily before entering the turn, as Martin Truex is now clear of Chase Elliott, as Chase Elliott now has to defend for second against Bubba. As contact between Amarillo and Larson back there, looks like Amarillo got loose through the corner. As Martin Truex still maintaining the lead, Bubba Wallace almost clears Elliott, but Elliott's going to be able to stay to his inside. Truex still just cruising around here as Christopher Bell and Kurt Busch still side by side for fourth. As Bubba Wallace is going to be able to clear Chase Elliott coming down the front stretch. As Alex Bowman making big moves early, he's already 3 wide. He's gained a lot of spots. Bubba Wallace, after clearing for second, is going to get loose and hit the wall. As Chase Elliott's back into second, going to try and track down Truex. As Kurt and Bell will battle for third now, as Bubba has to hold off Brad for the top 5 position. As Elliott's going to switch lanes and go to the outside now that Bubba fell back, and Elliott gets a huge run. He's side by side with Truex, as Truex still leads that lap, but Elliott has the lead going into 1. And caution's out. Ricky Stenhouse is going to back it in hard into the wall there. Single car accident. Looks like he may have blown a tire, as, he just loses it in the middle of the turn. Back there in the back of the pack, as there was a lot of chaos going on back there. And it looks like there's a lot of contact, which inevitably cut down Stenhouse's tire. That was a big hit to the rear end. That's probably going to take him out of the race, as he's been taken to the garage and he's out of the infield care center. As 6 drivers stay out, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, and Alex Bowman are now your top 3 here at New Hampshire, as they all stay out with Briscoe, Cindric, and Ty Dillon. As Chase Elliott led everyone else down pit road, and he's going to win the race off pit road. As here, Chase Elliott and Truex stay first and second off of pit road. Bell, Larson, and Blaney all gain spots. Kurt drops back. Bubba loses a lot of spots due to that damage. Harvick and Hamlin stay in those spots, and Byron continues to fall back as he's had a rough start to this race. As Brad will choose the inside as he's the race leader, and Joey Logano goes to the outside. And here's the leaders coming back to the green. Halfway through this race, his green flag is back in the air. Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano will lead him back into turn 1. As Brad edges out Logano going through the turn, but Logano's going to stay there as they are almost 4 or 5 wide back there around the top 5 as Ty Dillon and Austin Cindric already falling back. Looks like the strategy's not going to work out for them. However, Logano, Keselowski, Bowman, and Briscoe are staying up front. As Larson's going to split him 3 wide to try and get there for third. As Logano, however, is going to be able to take the lead from Brad. Although Brad had control over the restart, Logano took the lead as Bowman gets really loose. He's going to drop back some spots. As Logano is clear, as Brad's now dropping back. As Briscoe almost gets turned. Looks like it was from Kurt Busch. Logano still in front of the leaders, but Larson and Truex are going to put Logano in the middle and take him 3 wide as Truex will lead that lap. He now has control over the lead once again. That car just seems really fast once again. He's hoping to go back-to-back here, as we have 3 Toyotas all in the top 5 of Truex, Bell, and Hamlin, first, third, and fourth. Larson trying to hold them all off and maybe get by Truex, as he also has a fast car. But that outside middle groove kind of is really fast right now with the run you can get off the corner. As it's the white flag here at New Hampshire. Bell pushes Truex far into the corner, and Truex is going to go high. Bell's going to split him 3 wide, as Kevin Harvick and Ryan Blaney have gotten up there. 2 Fords up in the front now. As they are 3 wide down the back, Bell's going to fall behind Truex once again, though, as Truex has the lead. Larson's going to drive it in deep. Here comes Denny Hamlin out of nowhere. Where did he come from? Bell's going to get really loose off of the corner, but Martin Truex is going to be able to dominate at New Hampshire and maintain the lead and win here and go back-to-back. The first ever in the Yahoo Cup Series and the first ever to win multiple wins in the series, as no one has won 2 races yet except for Martin Truex, who goes back-to-back. As Bell had a really good run coming off the corner, but Truex was able to just stick it and block him as Bell went from second to fifth on the last turn. But as Martin Truex finishes his burnout, what a great win for him. That's going to move him high up in the point standings. As here's your finishing results. Logano able to maintain a top 10 after staying out and having really old tires. As Elliott, Bubba, and Byron all fell back at the start. Bowman's strategy kind of paid off. He gained some positions from it, but Brad fell back a lot. Sucks for Almirola. He started way up in the front, and he finishes in the back. Suarez could never get up there either, as it looks like Chase Briscoe ended up falling way back after almost getting spun down the backstretch. As here's your point standings now. William Byron, Alex Bowman, and Denny Hamlin all within 2 points of each other exiting this race. Byron leading the point standings only by 1 point, though. As Kyle Busch has made a big comeback, he's up there. Bell and Blaney stay up there. Truex has now cracked the top 10 in points due to getting back-to-back wins. As Ty Dillon, Harrison Burton end up dropping back. Bubba Wallace still struggling here. Daniel Suarez was up at the top of the points for a while, but has finished way in the back 2 races in a row and has just ended up falling way back. He's hoping to turn that around next week at Circuit of the Americas. Yes, we are heading to Austin, Texas for the next race of the Yahoo Cup Series. Welcome back, everyone, to the Yahoo Cup Series. The track we're visiting is another road course in the great city of Austin, Texas, at Circuit of the Americas. This road course has plenty of polarizing turns, just like Watkins Glen, to offer these drivers for a 2-mile circuit. We got 7 laps with now 30 cars, as we have former F1 champion Kimi Räikkönen officially joining the season for the rest of this season and next. As we complete seeing the field, let's check out our ones to watch. Chase Elliott is always really fast at road courses. He starts up front today. Austin Cindric has had a really rough start to the season, but hopefully he can get a good run here today. Bubba Wallace, not really a road course specialist, but he starts up front. Let's see what he can do. And Kimi Räikkönen joining the series, starts mid-pack. Let's see how far he can get up. Let's head to pit road to get the command.
To deliver the most famous words in motorsports for the 61st annual Daytona 500, please welcome our Grand Marshal, 3-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Houston Texans defensive end, J.J. Watt.
Drivers, start your engines!
As we see our field to come off of pit road, let's check out the pole sitter William Byron's lap. As he crosses the start-finish line, we immediately enter a bit of an S's, just like at Watkins Glen. They go into a right-hander and then a left-hander. Then they enter a carousel, a long 180 turn, where they start heading back the other direction. Now we enter a chicane, as we see at Watkins Glen as well, but this chicane is much tighter as they navigate through it. And then we have a long straightaway here into a sharp turn that takes us back to the finish line. We'll see a lot of passing and a lot of contact around there. Now let's head to our starting lineup. William Byron and Kurt Busch will lead the field on row 1, and in row 2 has Austin Cindric and Chase Elliott. Row 3, we got Daniel Suarez and Eric Jones, and row 4 is Kyle Busch and Alex Bowman. Row 5 has Bubba Wallace and Ross Chastain, and in row 6 we have Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell, a couple of dirt guys. Row 7 is Joey Logano and Harrison Burton. Row 8, Ricky Stenhouse and Chase Briscoe, with row 9 has Denny Hamlin and the newcomer Kimi Räikkönen. Row 10, Martin Truex and Cole Custer. Row 11, Corey LaJoie and Kevin Harvick. Then in row 12 is RFK guys Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher. In row 13 is Josh Bilicki, Ty Dillon. Row 14 is Kaz Gralla and Todd Gilliland. And rounding out the field in row 15 is Ryan Blaney and Eric Almirola. Here at Circuit of the Americas, like I said earlier, a 2-mile road course, 7-lap event with now 30 cars. Points leader William Byron on the pole, and Kimi Räikkönen's first ever race here. Here's the field ready to take the green flag here at Circuit of the Americas. As green flag is in the air, William Byron and Kurt Busch will lead them into the S's, Austin Cindric and Chase Elliott right behind them. Byron's going to be able to clear Kurt exiting the S's. Cindric going to follow him to the inside of Kurt to try and take second away. As Chase Elliott's going to bump Kurt Busch out of the way, Kurt's going to drop out of the top 5 already. As Byron and Cindric now take command of the field, Suarez and Elliott side by side for third. Kyle Busch right behind them. As William Byron and Austin Cindric will lead them into the sharp hairpin turn here. As Suarez and Elliott remain side by side for third. Byron will lead lap 1, but Cindric's going to get to his inside to take the lead away. Going into the S's, Suarez and Elliott still side by side for third. Kyle Busch yet to make a move on one of them. Cindric will clear Byron going into the carousel. Suarez will take advantage of this and get to the inside of him for second. As, Harrison Burton's going to spin going through the S's, it looks like, and Denny Hamlin's going to spin in the carousel. But here's the flyby of the field exiting the chicane. Cindric and Suarez now lead the field. Byron's starting to drop back. Elliott moving into third. Kyle Busch looks like he's going to try to get to the inside of Byron. And Eric Jones is having a solid run so far. Austin Cindric, Daniel Suarez still leading, entering the carousel. Chase Elliott clears Byron. Kyle Busch to the inside for fourth. As now we're on board the Chase Elliott. Daniel Suarez all over the back bumper of Austin Cindric. Kyle Busch going to move into fourth. And it looks like Kimi Räikkönen's going to go around. And it's going to collect Christopher Bell, but Bell looks like he's going to continue on. As here's a replay of the wreck. It looks like Bubba Wallace gave Kimi Räikkönen a bit of a nudge going into the turn and just carried too much speed and sent him around collecting Christopher Bell. Let's look at it one more time. Yeah, looks like Christopher Bell slowed the impact for Kimi Räikkönen, which is lucky for Räikkönen to be able to reduce the impact and continue on here. Here's some of the leaders on pit road. Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch led them on, as Elliott and Kyle will lead them off as well. Martin Truex moves up a lot of spots on pit road. A lot of guys stayed out, though, as here's some of the people that did pit and where they placed. Elliott and Busch stayed where they were, and Martin Truex gained a lot of spots, and Coy LaJoie and Ryan Blaney moving through the field pretty quickly. As here's some of the people that stayed out. Austin Cindric and Daniel Suarez stayed out, with Ross Chastain now lining up on the front row, with Kyle Larson right behind him. As green flag is back in the air here, Suarez going to make a 3-wide move into the S's, but gets super loose. He got pinned down and could not hold his position, as he's going to send Cindric through the S's, but Suarez gets loose, and he's going to go up into Bowman. Bowman's going to go around. He was up front in the points battle. That's going to send him back, as Chastain's now in the lead. Where did he come from? Joey Logano's entered the top 5. Kyle Larson on the outside of Cindric's going to send Chastain. Ross Chastain spins out in the hairpin. Joey Logano is in the lead now, with Suarez and Cindric side by side for second. Kevin Harvick's entered the top 5 as well. Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch already gained a lot of spots, getting close to the front of the field. As here they are through the carousel. Chase Elliott side by side with Larson for 5th already. As Suarez makes a move on Logano for the lead. Looks like he's going to clear him. As Kevin Harvick's there. Chastain has gone around again in the chicane. As Kevin Harvick gets sent. Joey Logano in the lead now. Still, Chase Elliott side by side. White flag is in the air. What a crazy turn of events. Chase Elliott and Joey Logano side by side. Kyle Busch is going to take him 3 wide. And now Elliott and Kyle Busch are side by side for the lead. Martin Truex with a crazy pitch strategy has entered the top 3 now. He's looking for a good finish after back-to-back wins. As Austin Cindric goes around, dominating this race, is not going to have a good finish. It's side by side through the hairpin. Who's going to win the race? It's going to be Chase Elliott across the line, with Truex stealing second from Kyle Busch. What a crazy last lap turn of events. As, big hit for Josh Bilicki there right at the end. Got turned coming across the start-finish line. But Chase Elliott, with a bold pitch strategy coming to pit road, is going to make it his way through the field and win the race. As Martin Truex has been on fire lately with the first, and second. As Ryan Blaney, starting last, made his way up to 4th. As Suarez still got a top 10. Coy LaJoie with a top 10. Harvick is going to end up 11th. Bubba did all right. Chastain got spun out twice. Bell, Hamlin, Byron, a lot of front runners in the points ended up in the back. As there's Bowman, who I think was the one that turned Bilicki there at the end, coming across the finish line. As Austin Cindric, a rough day for him after starting up front. And Kimi Räikkönen, an unfortunate first race for him. As Kyle Busch now jumps to the top of the point standings after finishing 3rd, with Martin Truex right behind him and Blaney in 3rd. Byron and Hamlin now follow them. Bowman's dropped back in the points a bit, as Elliott's towards the top now. As Eric Jones has got 100 points, and the rest of the field, Burton and Ty Dillon, have continued to fall back. And Austin Cindric almost is about to get passed by some of the people who joined late in the season here. Just been a really rough season for him, as Kimi Räikkönen unfortunately only gets 1 point to start his season. Welcome back, race fans, to the Yahoo Cup Series, for the penultimate race here for the Season 1. For the second to last race of this season, we are visiting the Great Deserts of Phoenix, Arizona. This is a flat oval just under 1 mile in length and races quite similarly to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It's a 10-lap event today with another new Cup driver of AJ Allmendinger joining us from Colleague Racing. As we complete seeing the rest of the field, let's check out our ones to watch. Kyle Larson's going to start on the pole today at Phoenix. He is still searching for his first Yahoo Cup Series win. Christopher Bell has been consistent throughout this entire season, and he has Yahoo on the hood today. Ryan Blaney is currently 3rd in the point standings. Is he a championship favorite going into next week? AJ Allmendinger is here in his first Yahoo Cup Series race, looking to carry momentum to Season 2. Let's get to pit road and get the command.
What's up, NASCAR Nation? Y'all ready for some racing? Y'all come say it with me. Drivers, start your engine!
We have the field coming off of pit road here, so let's head to our starting lineup. We have Kyle Larson on pole with Denny Hamlin going to be on his inside, William Byron and Brad Keselowski in row 2. Row 3 is Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, and in row 4 is Ryan Blaney and Kyle Busch. Row 5 has Eric Jones and Daniel Suarez, and row 6 is Kurt Busch and Martin Truex. Row 7 is a couple of Fords, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, and row 8 is Hendrick teammates Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman. Row 9, Bubba Wallace, Austin Cindric, and row 10 is Chris Buescher and newcomer AJ Allmendinger. Row 11 is Ricky Stenhouse, Chase Briscoe, row 12, Cole Custer, Harrison Burton. Then following behind them is Corey LaJoie, Todd Gillen in row 13, and then row 14 is Kaz Grella and Eric Almirola. Row 15 is Kimi Räikkönen and Josh Bilicki, and row 16 is Ty Dillon rounding out the field. Here at the Phoenix Raceway, like I said before, it's a 1 mile flat track. It's a 10-lap race with 31 cars. Kyle Larson is on the pole, and it's the penultimate race of the Yahoo Cup Series Season 1. As here's your field ready to take the green flag here at Phoenix. As green flag is in the air, Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin will lead them into this dogleg section where they can go anywhere they want, high or low. As it looks like Kyle Larson's going to edge Hamlin out entering turn 1, and Christopher Bell's going to take him 3 wide early all the way on the inside. But going all the way down there does not give you a good run, as you see as Brad Keselowski surges up into second, but Denny Hamlin going to power back on the inside. Kyle Larson clears Hamlin for the lead there and will lead lap 1. As Christopher Bell does. The 4 wide going through the dogleg. Like I said before, you can go all the way to the bottom as Kyle Larson still leads. Hamlin Brad still battling for second. Christopher Bell in fourth. Ryan Blaney is going to lose fifth to Ross Chastain as there's 3 wide battling for fifth as we go on board with Christopher Bell. Giving Brad a push into the turn. It's going to have to slow him down a little bit. Going to get Bell to the outside as Kyle Larson will lead lap 2. He is pulling away from his leaders as Kyle Busch is going to sneak there to the inside as Ross Chastain will take up 4 wide going into turn 1. Hamlin's going to get loose, pushed by Brad, a little bit of contact there as Kyle Busch is going to gain a lot of spots. So there goes Denny Hamlin. He's going to go around right in front of the field, collecting a couple of Fords there. Looks like Brad Keselowski and Ryan Blaney were the cause of that. Let's check out a replay here. As off the corner, Hamlin just runs high as Ross and puts Ross Chastain in the wall. It's going to bounce off of him as it did not help any with Brad Keselowski pushing him off the corner. But this all started back when Keselowski pushed Hamlin into the turn, getting him really loose. As it looks like Blaney just sent him around trying to get through, as Harvick and Logano have a little bit of damage. As a lot of people came to pit road, Christopher Bell and Ross Chastain being the first 2 there. As leading them off pit road is Christopher Bell, with a lot of Toyotas following behind him, Martin Truex and Kurt Busch. Ross Chastain seems to lose a couple of spots. He had to get some repairs on that right rear when Hamlin bounced off of him. As a lot of Toyotas moving to the front, Christopher Bell, Martin Truex, Kurt Busch, and Bubba Wallace all in the top 5 off of pit road. But up front here, it's a couple of Hendrick Chevys and Kyle Busch that are going to lead him back to the green flag. Kyle Larson opting to choose the outside once again, as it worked out for him on the first start of the race. As green flag's back in the air, with Chase Elliott going to shoot 3 wide inside to the bottom of Kyle as we go side by side with the leaders. William Byron going to push his teammate into turn as a lot of the Toyotas go into the outside to try and gain some spots. Chase Elliott's going to clear Kyle Busch for second as he made a bold move into turn 1. But Kyle Larson will once again clear for the lead here early, and he'll try and pull away as he's got a couple of Hendrick teammates right behind him with Elliott and Byron. As there's Toyotas all over the place trying to find their way back up to the front here. As they're 4 wide. As there's going to be a big crash. Bubba Wallace goes across the racetrack collecting Toyota teammate Martin Truex and taking out a lot of other good cars here. And a lot of people that stayed out trying to take a bold strategy as we are under red flag conditions. As there's a massive crash in the dogleg. Let's look at the replay here as they were 4, almost 5 wide through the dogleg, and they just ran out of space as Bubba and Stenhouse, it looked like, pinched Gilliland, and Gilliland did not lift, sending both of them into the outside, with Kurt Busch having nowhere to go, or Ty Dillon or Blaney. And Martin Truex was on fire lately, but this is going to end his streak of top 5 finishes, as everyone who stayed out on that last caution looks to have come to pit road, or most of them at least, as Hendrick Chevys lead them off with Kyle Busch as well, as Brad Keselowski and Hamlin still trying to repair their cars after that first wreck. As here, Larson and Elliott still come out first and second, Kyle Busch and Byron swapping positions. Corey LaJoie seems to have moved his way up. He gained a lot of spots, although he did lose a spot on pit road, as Allmendinger, Suarez, and Jones are 3 cars that have still decided to stay out here and not come to pit road. They're going to get swallowed up here on this next restart. As green flag's back in the air, Allmendinger and Suarez will lead him through the dogleg, but Christopher Bell is immediately going to the outside. Eric Jones getting swallowed up in the middle by Chastain and Bowman. As they're 4 wide through the turn here, Christopher Bell and Ross Chastain outside and inside, as they're going to be side-by-side for the lead now. Allmendinger, Suarez, and Jones dropping like rocks on those old tires, but Christopher Bell will clear Chastain into turn 3 and 4, and he will be able to lead this lap with Briscoe now up at the front. Briscoe's had a rough season so far, and he's looking to try and end on a strong note, as Ross Chastain crosses over Christopher Bell, getting to his outside going into 1. As Chase Briscoe all the way in the bottom. Bowman trying to regain the points lead here, as Cole Custer, Chris Buescher are now battling for 5th. They've moved up there. But here comes Elliott and Larson right behind Buescher and Custer. For the lead, Ross Chastain's going to be able to lead that lap. We go on board with Alex Bowman here. He has a run. He's going to push Chastain just right by Christopher Bell. As Chase Briscoe goes to the inside, he drives it in way deep. 3 wide. Chase Elliott now has entered the top 5 once again, as Chris Buescher is still trying to fight back with Larson, Byron, and Kyle Busch all right behind them. As now Chastain and Briscoe are side-by-side for the lead. Christopher Bell has fallen solidly in the 3rd, as he's now 3 wide middle. Chase Elliott almost gets spun out by his teammate William Byron, but he's able to save it. As Chastain and Briscoe still side-by-side. Briscoe sends it into 1, but Chastain's going to be able to cross him over here. Kyle Larson all the way in the bottom, as it looks like Alex Bowman got on the wall just a little bit there. But Briscoe and Chastain still side-by-side for the lead. Kyle Larson's now going to take 3rd from Christopher Bell. Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch side-by-side for 5th. As Chastain will lead him to the white flag. Last lap here. Kyle Larson shoots to the inside. Chase Briscoe trying to fight back on the outside. But Larson's going to dive it to the bottom. He's going to sneak to the inside of Chastain. Chase Elliott now up to 4, side-by-side with Briscoe. Larson and Chastain side-by-side going down the backstretch. Chastain's going to edge out a little bit, though. Here comes Kyle Larson. One more send into the turn here. Coming to the checkered flag. Larson's right there. It's going to be a photo finish at the line. But it looks like Ross Chastain is going to be able to get the win over Kyle Larson by a nose right at the finish line. What a crazy finish here at Phoenix. As we see a replay, Chastain's able to power back on the outside and hold off Kyle Larson, who's on the bottom. Wild finish here. Chastain was able to just move through the field quicker than anyone on those new tires after that first pit stop. As here we see the finishing results. The top 20, Ross Chastain comes home with the win. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott get the 2nd and 3rd. Briscoe might have gotten his first top 5 or second top 5 of the season. He's had a rough season, trying to just carry some momentum into season 2 here. As we see the rest of the field, Kurt Busch, Ryan Blaney, and Martin Truex, all 3 drivers were championship contenders, now getting poor finishes. That might take them out of the points. As we see the point standings here now, championship contenders with an asterisk next to the name. The entire top 10 still theoretically has a chance to win the championship. However, Kyle Busch, William Byron, Chase Elliott, and Ross Chastain have pretty far points leads on the rest of the field, as Blaney and Keselowski still can race for a championship. However, it's going to be a tough fight for them, and Kurt Busch is unfortunately the first guy out contending for a championship after getting a last place finish here at Phoenix. As the final spot in the point standings, AJ Allmendinger had his first race. He's just looking to carry momentum into season 2. Welcome, race fans, to the Season 1 finale of the Yahoo Cup Series. For the final race of this season, these drivers will be taking on the Homestead Miami Oval. These drivers just got done wrapping up their partying in the Magic City here to take on this speedy track. We have an 8-lap event prepared for you guys with a still standing 31 cars. As we see the rest of the drivers, we have many championship favorites here today, so let's see the ones we need to watch for. First in the point standings is Kyle Busch. He's been improving each and every week. William Byron is second in the point standings. He's been strong since the very beginning of the season. Third in the point standings is Chase Elliott. He's had arguably the best second half of any driver's season. And Ross Chastain's fourth in the point standings. He just came off a win at Phoenix, barely beating out Kyle Larson. Now let's head to pit road to get the command.
Gentlemen, let's get those engines fired up. Drivers, start your engines!
As these drivers come off of pit road, let's check out the point standings. Kyle Busch, William Byron, Chase Elliott, and Ross Chastain, like we said before, are in the top 4. However, guys I am watching today are Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell starting up front and are really strong at a track like this where you run the outside. Now let's look at the starting lineup. On row 1, we have William Byron, who got the pole, and Christopher Bell on his inside. Row 2 is Chase Elliott and Kurt Busch. And row 3 is Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace. And row 4 is Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski, a couple of RFK Fords. Row 5 is AJ Allmendinger, Kyle Busch. Good start for Allmendinger. Row 6 is Martin Truex and Ryan Blaney, some more championship contenders. Row 7 is Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick. And in row 8, we're going to have Joey Logano and Chase Briscoe. Row 9 is Ross Chastain, Harrison Burton. Chastain starts deep in the field, but he can get up there. And in row 10 behind them is Eric Jones and Daniel Suarez. Row 11 will be Alex Bowman and Cole Custer. Bowman is the worst starting position of any championship driver. And row 12 is Austin Cindric and Ricky Stenhouse. Row 13 is Eric Almirola and Todd Gilliland. Row 14 will be Ty Dillon and Kaz Grala. In row 15 is Corey LaJoie and Josh Bilicki. And rounding out the field is the foreign driver of Kimi Räikkönen in the 91 Trackhouse Chevy. At Homestead Miami Speedway, it's at a 1.5-mile oval shaped, 8 laps with 31 cars. William Byron will start on the pole. And like I said before, this is the Season 1 finale of the Yahoo Cup Series. Here's your field ready to take the green flag to get this race underway. And green flag is in the air. William Byron and Christopher Bell will lead him into turn 1 as Chase Elliott is going to get a push from his teammate Larson early into 1 as all the guys swarm to the inside to take the shortest route around the track. William Byron will get the run off the corner, pulling ahead of Christopher Bell, with Kurt Busch trying to hold off Larson. Larson's going to push Elliott down the backstretch, pushing him ahead of Bell. Elliott's going to send it in to try and clear Byron, but it doesn't look like it's going to work. Byron's going to get a strong run off the top as now Kurt Busch and Larson take Bell 3 wide. Bell dropping back early here. William Byron will lead lap 1 of this race. AJ Allmendinger making moves early, trying to get up to the front. Kyle Larson's going to drive it into the inside. Chase Elliott now in the middle. 3 wide for leaders. Oh, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski. Championship contenders make contact there in 1 and 2. As Bell gives Byron a huge push down the backstretch, clearing Byron of Elliott, but Elliott's going to get right back to the inside. Here comes Christopher Bell. He pushed Byron into the turn. As we see farther back, a lot of championship contenders joshing for position, but it looks like Christopher Bell is going to be able to clear the lead all of a sudden ahead of Byron and Elliott. Bell gave Byron a huge shove into the turn, making him have to lift a lot more as Kyle Larson now on the inside. Bubba gets into his teammate Kurt, getting him loose. As Christopher Bell still has the lead, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and William Byron, 3 Hendrick Chevys, all 3 wide for second. As Bubba and Hamlin side by side. As they go into turn 3, we're going board with Chase Elliott here. And then Bubba Wallace right behind the leaders. As, Hamlin gets into Elliott. Elliott almost wrecks, but he's going to save it and gets into Truex. Christopher Bell is still leading here. Kyle Larson and William Byron right behind him. Hamlin and Allmendinger have now entered the top 5. As Larson's going to get to the inside of Bell through 1. He's going to hold it coming off of turn 2. As Allmendinger and Hamlin 3 wide with William Byron coming off of the turn. Looks like Byron's going to be able to hold him off. Bubba gets a big run to the outside. As Byron's going to come up behind Larson and give him a push to the turn. Larson's going to have the lead entering turn 3 as Allmendinger and Hamlin still side by side with Bubba for 4th. As Kyle Larson's going to clear Bell through the turn. He's going to be able to get the lead here. William Byron inside of Bell, but Bell's going to be able to stay first. He tries to make a move underneath Larson. Here comes Bubba for 3rd. He's gaining ground fast here. As entering turn 1, Kyle Larson's going to have the lead. AJ Allmendinger all the way on the inside. As Truex almost turns Elliott. They got together earlier. Looks like Truex is still trying to get by him. As Byron are trying to stay in front of Bubba for 3rd, but Bubba's carrying the momentum off the outside. Kyle Larson is still leading here. Christopher Bell going to get back to his inside. Hamlin's holding off his driver, Kurt Busch. As Bell still cannot get to the inside of Larson. Larson keeps the lead, leading most of the laps of the race. Bubba clears Byron for 3rd there, jumping in front of him. As Bubba gets to the inside of Bell. So does Byron. But Bubba looks like he's going to be a holder as Chastain gets underneath Byron. Byron seemed to have washed up the track. Larson still leading as Byron not very happy with Chastain, doors him down the backstretch as Bubba Wallace trying to get by his Toyota teammate Christopher Bell for 2nd. Ross Chastain drives it in deep to the inside. He's now cracked the top 5 after barely starting in the top 20 as Bubba Wallace is going to clear Christopher Bell for 2nd. Kyle Larson leads that lap. 2 to go here at Miami. Bubba Wallace is going to get to Larson's quarter panel through the turn as we're going board with him through 1 and 2 as it looks like he's going to be able to stay side by side with him down the backstretch. Ross Chastain still side by side with Kurt for 4th as Christopher Bell waiting in the wings for Bubba and Larson to make a mistake as Chris Buescher is now close to the top 5. He's started deep in the top 10. as Ross Chastain now side by side with Bell, looking to get third as Larson stays in front of Bubba. It's a white flag is in the air one more time here at Miami. If Kyle Larson wins this race, he might be able to win the championship, as we have not been talking much about that. As here comes Ross Chastain, going to challenge for the championship here. As Kyle Larson stays in front of Bubba and Chastain, what will Chastain do going into 3 and 4? He's going to have to send it here if he wants to get by Larson. They're 4 wide as well. As Chastain does send it, but Bubba's right there. He comes up in front of Bubba. There's almost a big wreck. Kyle Larson looks like he's going to be able to keep the lead. Buescher and Bell side by side for second, as Kyle Larson will win at Homestead, with Bell finishing second, with Byron and Chastain around 5th and 6th, it looks like. We're going to have to see who wins the championship. It might be close. They might be able to take it away from Kyle Busch here. We're going to have to see, and it looks like Kyle Larson is your championship winner here. He's going to win the championship with Byron and Kyle Busch tied for second. Here we are at the finishing results. Larson wins with Bell in second, as Larson was ahead of Bell in the point standings. Bell would have had to win if he wanted any chance, as Byron finishes 5th, Chastain in 6th, with Kyle Busch is going to come home with an 11th. Had a very poor race here today, as Denny Hamlin, we saw was top 5 earlier. He had a shot, but he got squirrely, it looked like, on the final turn, and almost wrecked. As, we look at the point standings. Kyle Larson is your Season 1 champion of the Yahoo Cup Series. William Byron, Kyle Busch tied for second, only losing to Larson by 1 point, which Kyle Larson had to come all the way from 8th in the point standings, and he was pretty much in a must-win situation if he wanted any chance to win the championship, and he pulled through here with William Byron just coming up short, and Kyle Busch could not hold him off. If Kyle Busch had gained 1 spot there at the end, he would have forced a tiebreaker. However, I think Larson would have gotten it anyways, since he did end up winning this race.